All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Biohazard Blitz finals on HereThereBeMonsters. I'm Mercy. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm very excited for this event. The group stage was yesterday. They played round robin, 4 teams, and today we are down to 2. The prize on the line, we have $10 per player for the winning team, and we are playing best of 3 today. Our teams for tonight are the Anime Girls and Steel Greg's Bagels. They were the 2 that came out on top for the group stage. We're going to be playing best of 3 tonight. If you don't know much about Valorant, Valorant is best of 25 rounds per map, and then there will be up to 3 maps. We have a co-host with us tonight, Eden, who's one of the organizers of the event. She knows a lot more about Valorant than I do, so she's going to be doing a lot of analysis and talking about like a little bit more, specific what's happening in the game. This agent's good for this, or this is where the clash point's going to be, that kind of thing. And she's going to be running the camera. I'm going to be doing my best to keep the show moving, keep the commentary flowing, and to just have a good time. So thank you guys all so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And with that, I think we're good to go on my end. I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic hot for Eden and let her introduce herself really quickly and say hello. And then it looks like the teams are pretty much set up.
The quick rundown is that these 2 teams competed yesterday. They did really well, and I'm really interested to see how they are going to pull through because they used very similar tactics. They both had like healers on their team, so I'm very curious into how they're going to both deal with it.
I wish I could have seen the group stage, but if anything, I guess it makes it a little bit more exciting for me because I really don't know what to expect right now. So it's going to be fun. Fair warning, this is a first time for both of us doing something like this. So we're going to do our best and we're going to have fun, but also be forewarned. It could be a cluster. All right. So with that, I'm going to change the scene. You won't see me again until after the first match, but you will be blessed or cursed as you prefer with my beautiful voice for the next little bit here.
I'm excited to see who the attackers pick because from what I've seen, Crash tends to pick duelists. And if they pick too many duelists, it won't be an even carry for the team.
Yeah, and that's actually one of my questions that I had written down is I want to see about balances. No, it's perfect. I want you to talk a little bit of about the balance of the teams that we have here, and if you see anything, like one team going too heavy on something. So that's perfect.
So far, they're doing pretty well, considering the map Haven has 3 sites for the bomb to be planted. So they've picked pretty well. Like if we see on the defender side, they've picked Cypher, and Cypher is able to put a camera up and a bunch of traps to locate enemies who are crossing in. So that's very good for a map like this. That's so wide. So it's pretty good how they're going with their setup, especially when they have smokes. They have 2 people with smokes, which is Jet and Brimstone. And so it looks pretty good. They have a lot of characters that have intel. The other team, I'm not exactly sure what's happening right now. Okay, they picked.
Yeah, it looked like there was a lot of internal debate there and maybe a couple of last minute picks.
Yeah, but they picked pretty well. I am worried because they don't have a lot of intel. They only have Killjoy, who's the only person who has like alarm bots and stuff she can set up, but it's very limited compared to the defending team. So we'll see how that plays out.
I guess that kind of makes sense though from a defending team, right? They're going to be a little bit more reliant potentially on intel.
Yeah, but like once they switch over, it'll go against them,
Sure. There we go. All right, I'm locked on your camera.
So yeah, it looks like the attackers are going for A first, and they so far have only 2 on A site defenders, and we'll see how that plays.
Looks like we're going to have a fairly major clash on that. I'm not getting audio for some reason. There we go.
Well, there's one hiding in Haven. That's going to be interesting. And they've already planted as well.
Yeah, very quick plant there.
They pushed up pretty fast.
Yeah, they hit with 5 when the other team had, it looks like 1 kind of defending between B and C.
Yeah. Oh. And
A very good attack back from the defenders, though. The spike, is he going to get it? Oh, wow. How's that for an opening round? Holy cow.
Yeah, abilities play a huge role in how you play this game. They can either really mess up how you play or make it entirely if you don't know how to use your character's things properly.
I don't know why my master volume was so low. That's super weird. So I turned it up. Hopefully for those of you watching, that's a little bit better for second round here. It seems like it's kind of almost kind of minimizing my sound though.
Oh, it looks like they're going A again.
Yeah, looking like maybe a slightly delayed push to A here, which is going to be really rough for our defenders. If so, there are 5 of them in the BC area.
Oh, and they're rotating over pretty quickly too. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Oh, there's someone up in Haven.
All right, the initial exchange was rough for them, but the defenders took that really well.
Yep. I think it's because they rotated very quickly compared to the attackers, who they kind of leave themselves really open to attacks from all sides.
Yeah, it seems like they're focusing their movements in a very localized area, which is allowing them to get outmaneuvered. Shoot. Notice one other thing that I thought I turned off. Sorry about that, guys. Video.
Looks like they're trying to go mid now, which is going to be an interesting play since B is one of the most open spots in the entire map. Since there's 3 ways actually of getting in there.
Yeah,
and
3 ways and plus that nook in the back.
Yeah, and there's a lot of corners too, so it's very easy to just camp there and wait. Oh, they're going for a garage push to C.
Okay. Well, it looks like our defenders are actually set up relatively well for that. It's going to come down to those rotations again. Dave is... Okay, clutch kill there from Dave, which is buying him time for number 5 to rotate behind. Oh.
They have to rotate back now.
Yeah, so they're probably... It looks like the attackers are probably going to rotate back into potentially all the way over to A as a result of that last kill there. They have plenty of time. They have a full minute left. Looks like... I don't know how to tell who is what number. That's kind of annoying. Yep, so I'm just going to have to go with numbers for now.
Spike planted.
So they're going to breach from both sides of the A point here, or onto the A point here. They're trying to time it out so number 1 gets in position. All right, looks like number 4 is a little bit behind. But they're... Okay, here they go.
And Cypher is coming in from long.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh.
Solid kill. This is going to be a hard... Yep, I was going to say, it's going to be a hard hold from Jonathan on the last bit there.
They're using pretty interesting tactics compared to the previous games. They usually, Team 3, this is Team 3 that we're spectating, who's on the defender side, they tend to be more aggressive than the other team, from what I've noticed in their previous games. So right now I've just noticed that they tend to hold back a lot more when they're they're defending on A.
And it looks like our attackers this time are stacking up for a hard push on C, which, you know, it's going to come down to a couple of key kills there. Number 3 can rotate over pretty quickly, so it's going to be a 3-on-5 unless he gets beat on the wing there by number 6.
Phoenix is with the Marshal.
Number 5 for the defenders is probably about to run into some pain here, so he's trying to flank. So hopefully he holds back.
Let's see, there's still one trying to get some kills. Maybe trying to throw off the other team by making them think they're going C.
The hunt begins.
But nope, they're pushing A again.
Yeah, the late rotation over to A with 4 left on the attackers. They're still pretty healthy. Ooh, okay. That was a clutch catch from Dave. He does get punished for it, but 2 kills for 1 leaves the defenders in a really good position here. And you can see them all rotating over to A now. Not quite sure what number 2 is doing.
Oh, and they use their ultimate to make sure they secured the site. Oh.
All right, Phoenix with the res there, so they've got the attackers have a good chance at taking their first point here.
Hopefully. Killjoy is pretty low, and there's someone coming up from
Yep.
this side. Oh, nice kill.
Dewey trying to get the defuse in among all the smokes. Good kill from Subhuman as well. Really good use of the 2 smokes there to split up the vision, and then ironically, actually, I'm not sure is that firewall from Phoenix, but that kind of contributed to the visual chaos there.
Yeah, it was their own firewall. That's why knowing how to play your abilities is pretty important, because sometimes it can affect your visibility. When I play Phoenix, sometimes it does like happen to me as well, where I'll throw in a wall and it will block their view, but it'll also block mine, and I'll end up dying because of a blind shot that I could have easily missed if I had seen it coming.
How long is Phoenix? How long does Phoenix's wall stay on the ground?
It tends to stay, I think, around 4 or 5 seconds. I'm not exactly sure, but
Okay, so that was just really unfortunate timing then.
Yeah. It also helps the other Phoenix heal as well, so people try to throw it up as soon as possible.
Got it.
But it doesn't always work out very well.
So very early plant on B here. We were barely even done talking about the last round.
Looks like they might
One
actually get this
enemy
one, the
remaining.
attackers. Oh, Crash is sneaking up on... Oh, and Jet just walked by. Oh.
Last player standing.
Subhuman going up for the clutch here. He's got 1 smoke left, it looks like there.
Phoenix
He
versus
does
Jet.
not appear to know where Phoenix is.
I think Phoenix knows where he is. Oh, there we go. They got their first point now.
Yeah. Good hold from Phoenix there. Good patience to wait with the fake on the bomb defuse. Or spike, sorry, used to Counter-Strike. So, that's got to be a pretty important infusion of cash or whatever this game's equivalent of that is as well, right? For the attackers.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can see what your enemy's money or creds is, so you can kind of figure out what guns they're most likely to buy depending on like their habits.
Oh, I didn't realize you could see the opposing team's creds as well. Interesting.
Yeah, it really helps, and it also, I feel like it's a slight advantage to everybody, because if you know that a player consistently always uses the op,
Last player
and once they
standing.
reach 5,000 creds, you'll know that they'll definitely use an op.
Sure. Yeah, that's really interesting the way that kind of changes the flow of things, because in Counter-Strike, you're left to kind of like, kind of keep track of that knowledge yourself. The defenders are working on closing the closing in on our last attacker here. Yeah.
Yeah, but they really pushed them through. And they also held down the spike pretty well. Usually when people tend to push while they're on defenders, they leave the spike unattended, which allows the attackers to get it pretty easily.
Yes, this should do.
All right, so being down 5-1, talk to me a little bit about how that affects the attacker's strategy here. Obviously, they've got an uphill battle ahead of them.
This should do.
So the attacker's side tends to be actually easier to plant since there's so many options, and the defenders tend to be more spread out. So it's kind of going to be difficult for them to gain back more points when they switch over to the defender side. So it's going to be pretty hard to get through, especially since if they continue this streak, they'll only have like maybe 4 more games until the other team wins. I don't know if that made any sense.
I think so. So talk to me a little bit about what would be expected on this map. Is this a map that's generally favored towards the defenders, or are defenders playing above expectation?
Cage trigger.
Tends to be more
Cage trigger.
more towards the attackers. Personally, that's what I think. It's up for debate, but I think it's more for attackers
One
since
enemy
it's
remaining.
definitely easier to
No one to interrogate.
switch and rotate to another site if you feel like there's too many people on one site, and since it's such a big map, it takes a while for the defenders to also find out where you are and rotate as well.
Yeah, Dewey especially is really really coming through for his team. Subhuman not far behind on kills, but I feel like in the first couple of rounds we saw Subhuman with a couple of good spike defusals and whatnot, but Dewey especially has been really hitting the flanking maneuvers.
So they're pushing A again. I think they're going completely for long. Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
You should run.
hard
And there's
long, and it
only
looks like the
one
defenders are already moving on that though. So if Subhuman and Hypno can get around on quickly enough on the flank,
Planted.
they could potentially attack two from each direction here. Unfortunately, the defenders lose one long, but they get better trades on the top of the map, so it's 2-on-2 still.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah,
It is
lots
showing me
of
everybody's
down.
names in the same color. I wish I could get... Wish I could get it so the enemies were showing red. Well, not the enemies, but the attackers were showing red for me. All right, looks like attackers going. I don't know what this play is called, but going for the near left and probably over into C.
Joke's over.
I think so too. Usually when they do head in towards garage, they do go straight into C. Which is a bit difficult considering a lot of them are rotating from the back, so they're flanking pretty well.
Your duty is not
Oh, and they use the
Player
res.
standing.
But end up losing
Crazy.
losing the reser for it, so it's a tough trade.
Oh, and they got it.
Yeah, wow.
That was a really good shot. And the two remainders are coming from CT.
Cutting their vision.
Yeah, it looks like our lone attacker here debating about whether or not to try and move in. I'm kind of surprised they didn't take the opportunity right after picking up the spike to rotate back through attacker and go over to alpha.
I'm wondering if they're trying to see if they will rotate to A.
Yeah,
That
trying to
means
slow
A,
play it.
Which is going to be quite difficult
30
since Brim
seconds
is
left.
sitting right there in the corner waiting
Yeah,
them to get into
potentially
the
going to get shot in the back of the head here.
Yep.
Yep,
Up. There you go.
tough. Good
Hypno
angle,
ends
good
it.
spot for Hypno. Yeah, I'm sorry for the viewers here that I cannot seem to sort out the names are all showing as defender color for me. I'm not sure if that's like a bug or if that's that I don't have something set up quite right.
I think that might be a bug. Usually it's all
Yeah, are you seeing it
split up
as all names defender color?
no, they're split up pretty well with red and blue.
Okay. Yeah.
Right now I have it on purple because I personally put red as purple, but
I'll have to take a look. I'm not going to mess with it too much while we're live here, but after this, after round one, I'll see if I can sort that out. So another hard A push from our attackers. They get punished for it though, and they're getting flanked here by Hypno.
on the attacker's
Last
side,
player standing.
and they all go down. Oh, one of the players disconnected. Not looking so good for the attackers.
I don't see a disconnect.
Mine says crash disconnected. Let me go check on their side. Oh, yep, he did disconnect.
Is there a pause mechanism?
No. You can't pause the game. And they gave the person who disconnected the bomb.
Oh no.
That was not the best tactic on their part. I'm interested in how they're gonna try to get it now. They're gonna have to either do a clean sweep of killing all the defenders or waiting for someone to kill Crash.
I mean, if Crash can't reconnect, that's pretty much just the map, right?
Blocking sight.
A game like this, you can't play without 20% of your team.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to carry when one
No
of your
charges
teammates
left.
is down. Especially when they're the person collecting intel, which Crash's character Killjoy is. They collect pretty well intel with their turret and their alarm bot.
It seems like I'm taking a look in the tournament Discord, and he is still in voice chat for Team 1.
I can
30
send him.
seconds
Oh,
left.
he reconnected really quickly right now.
Okay. So it cost them a round, but I'm not sure that changes the situation a whole lot here for our first map.
Oh, and they're going towards B.
10 seconds left.
If they plant very quickly, they could still make time.
Spike
With
planted.
Subhuman is
One
coming in and
enemy
killing them.
remaining.
Good kill with the daggers, but Crash does still have a spike to defend, so you never know.
Last player standing.
Yeah, and a good pick on Subhuman there. Does he fall
he
for the
did.
fake spike? It looks like he did. Well done from Dave.
Back to work.
That's a pretty good finisher.
That's always such a hard, just the mental game there is, when you hear it, like, do I go, do I not go? They're probably faking it, but if they're not faking it, they're gonna,
Yeah, that's what I've noticed a lot throughout these games that we made them play. A lot of them do tend to do a fake defuse, and people have started to catch on. And then there's those one times where they actually do hold the defuse, and it was just really funny to watch them be like, "Oh my god."
I think we saw that in
They
round
tend-
1, right? With that defuse that Subhuman got at the very last second there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially with the Phoenix trying to throw their hot hands on the
Revealing area.
spike to prevent them. They didn't die quick enough, but they still got that quick defuse.
Like Staples trying to bait out some shots here from Dave.
It looks like they're rotating over.
Yeah, we're seeing the defenders kind of take an offensive stance here, which actually pays off for him with a 1-for-2 trade. Well, did.
It seems like they still want to push A.
Yeah, it seems like they're really holding out to go. Yeah, it looks like long again.
Which is good for them since only one defender is on the site. Which means if they can take it, they have a clear place to
Yeah.
plan. Oh,
And
they-
Megan Fox had the position, but unfortunately didn't have the shots. So that leaves the defenders in an awkward spot here for sure.
Spike planted.
and now they know that both of them are coming from CT.
Yeah.
Probably one of them is going to head up to Haven.
Blocking sight.
Ooh, a very good kill from Subhuman there, though. Staples turns it around, though. Attackers hold on to that. That was well done. And, you know, that's where you really see numbers coming into play. They can afford to essentially sacrifice that one to kind of, you know, focus the defender's vision and then take them on.
I'm wondering if they're gonna do another slow push. I feel like every time they've done a slow push, it's worked in their favor pretty well. Hopefully they'll learn from it and continue doing it. Oh, it looks like majority of them are going B window.
Going up through mid, and that's not a spot that we've seen the defenders really trying to hold very hard. Obviously, they do have one on it here with Staples, but only committing with a pistol. Oh, I didn't see how low actually, how low the defender's money was.
It's because they just switched sides. Every 12 rounds, it switches sides.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be interesting if they can make a comeback from it. And it looks like they might.
Yeah.
Oh.
Spike planted.
So defender's pretty healthy here, and they do have the numbers. So let's see. It looks like they're trying to move. Oh, they get caught though. I was gonna say they're trying to move one around a flank so they can go attack two from one direction and one from another, but they get punished for it. Wow, and the attackers hold that incredibly well. I guess we've got 15 more seconds in the buy phase. Can I sort out why?
Together.
Wall raised.
Yeah, I guess we'll turn loadouts off for now because my outlines are at least working. So when I have loadouts on, it's giving everybody's name as defender, but
Looks like they might head in towards garage to go towards C. But it's actually quite hard to see what site they really want since they're all pretty spaced
yeah,
out.
both teams pretty spread out right now.
And Reyna is just in the corner holding on to Spike. I guess she's waiting for them to secure one of the sites so she can move in. Seems like a good tactic. And they're taking B.
I'd end up with a pick right here that's going to really, really affect how this plays out. Defenders with only 3 left now. This is going to be a very difficult site to assault.
It's also going to be really hard for them to turn this around. Now, with 11-2, the game will end in 2 more rounds.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's just about whatever information they can get as a team to, you know, kind of come back for round 2 here and, you know, try out new calls or whatever.
Hopefully with the next map, which is going to be Bind, they'll... Actually... No, it's Split. I apologize. The next map, which is Split, they'll do a bit better. It's pretty even on both sides, the map, so it'll allow them an opportunity to get back. A good point.
Looks like attackers going for a slow walk up long A, but they send one to distract.
And they're rotating pretty quick. That was a good molly from Hypno-Swarm.
Planted. See ya.
And nice shot from Subhuman.
Last player standing.
And they finished the
Attackers
game
win.
with attackers winning.
So round one of our best of three goes to Steel Greg's Bagels at a score of 13-2. So it's going to be tough for Anime Girls to come back from that one, I think, just because they're going to have to sort out what went wrong. From what we understand, the group stage, Anime Girls played pretty well, were pretty organized, and it seemed like after those first couple rounds, they struggled to make decisions. It seemed like there was a lot of like, well, screw it, go away.
Yeah, definitely. It seemed like they would push pretty aggressively. And despite them winning almost winning a few times when they were doing slow pushes, they kept kept pushing forward, which is quite hard when you're getting attacked from all sides. They could have easily gone back a little bit and tried to see if they could have rotated, but they seemed pretty determined to get on A for some reason.
Looks like Dispo doesn't know that there's time in between. We decided on 10 minutes between matches. Is that correct? Or
We're
maps?
gonna have a few same. We're gonna have a 5-minute break in between each match, which I think is pretty good.
Most kills and most first bloods go to Subhuman, but Dewey coming through with a lot of really clutch plays. And Hypno, although much more in the middle of the scoreboard, had some really, really important flanks there to hold those defenses. So it resulted in a few more deaths because he got caught, but Hypno's flanks really seemed pretty clutch there. So Subhuman with Jet is on top there. We actually see a handful of kills with Bladestorm, but a lot of good shooting there and really, really good use of the smokes as well. As far as news and other things coming up here, a little bit more info for you guys. If you're having fun, we'd love to have you put a follow on the channel. That way you can get notified when we're live. This is our current schedule events. My wife, Pixie, and I share this channel and a YouTube channel called HereThereBeMonsters. And we stream 5 days a week. So we don't currently stream Valorant, although that could be something that happens in the future. But we will be periodically streaming these tournaments with the FT Gaming community. If you put a follow on the channel, that's a great way to stay up to date with what we're doing. And even if all you're in for is for the Valorant tournaments, I think we're planning on doing those either monthly or at least quarterly. We also have a fairly active Discord server, so consider throwing a join there. We organize all sorts of stuff from on-stream games to off-stream games to sharing cooking recipes and all sorts of other stuff. One more thing with my quick hashtag ad here. We are doing a New Year's Eve marathon stream. We'll be live for 26 to 30 hours, ringing in every New Year's here on Earth. There will be a couple $100 in gift card prizes and game giveaways as well. So mark your calendars for that. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We did it last year, and what better way to end the year of COVID than an online celebration?
I'm really excited for this round. Personally, Split is my favorite map. I don't know if you've ever played on Split.
I have not.
I don't know. Okay, but it's a pretty good map. It's pretty even on both sides, so it can go either way. I'm hoping that the attackers learn from their previous game and do better. I really want them to do well.
Is
Mostly 'cause
there,
I'm both good.
sorry, really quickly technical question. Is there anything that I need to do differently? Like I'm still in that game as an observer. Is that good, or do I need to leave that one and join a new lobby, or how does that work?
Oh no, it's all good. I just changed the map really quickly and they sort themselves out pretty fast. So it's just a matter of me hitting start and it should play again.
Gotcha. So I didn't actually time it, but I think we have a quick moment left. Anything else standing out to you as far as, things that the other team needs to do to improve, or any agent changes in their rosters, or what do you think we need to see from Anime Girls here to change things up a little?
I'm actually really not sure. I like their setup, but I think in the end what costed them was they didn't really plan out their agents really well, because when we saw in the beginning of the match, they kind of hesitated, and it wasn't until the last few seconds where they kind of just picked any other character, and I don't think they planned it out pretty well because they had very little information to gather, because certain agents allow you to gather information like Sova, Cypher, and so on, which I think gave Steel Greg's Bagels the advantage a lot since they were able to track down and figure out where they were a lot quicker, so they could rotate and like flank them very fast. So hopefully this round they'll learn from that and get more agents on their team who are able to get information as quickly as the other team is.
Yeah, with all the rotations that we were seeing from Steel Greg's Bagels, especially in the first half there, you're right. It was an information battle. There's not, there's really not any other way around it. The other team, Anime Girls, only having one information gatherer, you could really see how that hamstrung their decision making.
Yeah, especially on a big map like Haven, where having information is key to knowing how to get in on a site and what corners to really, really focus on. I think it really hit them pretty badly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in this one, they'll be able to learn from that and hopefully get better at knowing which agents, and hopefully they planned it out beforehand because I think that's what really played a part in it.
Right.
I don't know what conflict was going on, but hopefully they sorted themselves and it'll be a fun match to watch.
So I see we're starting out. Steel Greg's Bagels is on defense again. Is that intentional, or are we swapping that so they have to attack first for this one, or how's that going to work from a structure standpoint?
I usually make the winners choose what positions they want to start off on. There's also specific agents that work better in certain maps. Like in this map, Raze tends to do pretty well, but not many people pick her. Also Viper, which is a character who I personally really like. She throws down a pretty big wall and it covers almost half of one of the fields. So that'll be interesting if any of these two teams pick any of these two characters.
So talk to me about Raze then. I'm looking at her kit. It looks like we have Blast Pack, Pain Shells, Boombot, and then eventually Showstopper. What makes Raze, you think, particularly good for this map?
I think Raze does pretty well since her entire kit does a lot of damage if used correctly. And there's a lot of like parts in the map where if you're walking forward and someone throws a bomb like Raze's it does pretty heavy damage because if you back up, you'll hit a wall. You can't move that quickly unless you're dead. So that's what makes her pretty deadly on this since there's so many corners and you can easily get trapped and die from an explosive. And that's why I personally really like her because she does a lot of damage, especially with her aimbot. I mean, not aimbot. Boombot, where it tracks down enemies on the site and it explodes once it sees them.
So it sounds like she's going to specifically excel on defenders, where you can take an angle to get a good choke point to really get those AoE damage abilities in.
Yeah, definitely. It also works with Viper, like I mentioned. Her ult specifically, it's a huge cloud that brings all the enemies who step into the cloud to 1 health point. So an easy thing. Like I would always put down their poison on top of the bomb I was like defending. So if they even try to walk over it, they die instantly. So it's a matter of what agents you really play on this map. And it really does help with them.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see too, because you said the previous map is a pretty attacker focused map. So it's sounding to me, at least as a layman, like this map is favoring the defenders a little bit more. So that's going to change the dynamic a little bit.
I guess they're going to stay on these two sides since they haven't really picked the sides. I guess they're pretty good. Okay. I will be starting the game now.
Okay.
Hopefully this goes pretty well. I'm hoping they do pretty well.
All right. And for everybody in chat, that is going to be it for me here. Hopefully you'll see me again before we go into a round 3, but it's, the impetus is really on the anime girls here to, to bounce back from that and change tactics. So with that, let's talk tactics. Eden, what do we see here? Again, we see Steel Greg's Bagels with immediate agent lock-ins.
They definitely know that they need info, so they locked in already with their two favorite info people, which is Cypher and Sova, which is great for them because, again, split. You have Cypher on one map, he can literally hold down one map with all the information he gathered, especially on this map. They also have someone with smokes, which is pretty good.
And it looks like I think either the same draft from Greg's Bagels or maybe Dave's agent is different, but at least 4 of the same. And we're
Dave
seeing
definitely-
a lot more changes over here from Anime Girls, though.
Yeah, I think they might go with these 2 they clicked on. I
Select
definitely
your
see
agent.
that they learned from their past and gotten someone who collects more information than the previous one, but it's still significantly less than what they currently have compared to Steel Greg's Bagels.
Well, very nearly a mirror match here, actually, as
Yeah.
far as the choices go. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to deploy those. I'm a little bit bummed that we didn't get to see Raze or Viper here, because the way you were describing it made it sound like it was going to be really interesting the way that was going to affect the play on this map. But you know, with games like this, you stick with what you know, especially in a competitive setting like this. So I'm imagining that we're getting more player favorites and not necessarily as broad of a tactical draft as you might otherwise see.
People tend to stick to one person, and I'm guilty of doing that. I tend to stick to Killjoy, no matter the site, even when it's not the best to be your set character. But it works out pretty well if you know how to use your kit to your advantage. I'm really interested in how the attackers are gonna play this one at B. But it looks like the Sova's ready to throw down and
Smoke's down.
dart to see what information there is.
Yeah, and only one defender in B. So if our attackers move on this quickly, they could punish. But the defenders are moving fast. We've already got a second rotated over, a third coming in on B. So the attackers are going to lose that timing advantage in about 5 seconds, really.
Oh, and there's one coming in from sewers, which is going to try to flank them, which is going to be pretty bad on their end if they don't watch their back.
Yeah, the initial pick there by Subhuman really putting the attackers on their heels, and they're about to rotate back through 2-3 defenders. This is really not what they want right now. They're getting bogged down, and now we've got one rotating in behind them. So the attackers need to take a kill here in the next minute or the next moment. A trade there from
Last player standing.
from our defenders. An interesting reversal. That is not how I thought that encounter was going to go.
They were pretty tightly held in mid, so I thought it was going to go definitely towards the defenders.
So a single rotator left here from Dewey. You know, to his advantage potentially is Jonathan is pretty low on health. So really a single good center of mass shot is going to make this an even one-on-one. It just depends on who he's able to pick out here first. It looks like he's probably going to encounter Staples. Oh, a fantastic shot, but a good cleanup from Jonathan.
That was a really good headshot from Dewey.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 Yelp review.
You know, it just occurred to me, I don't know if I'm actually spectating on you. No, I wasn't. Whoops.
I'm just watching the attackers. It's quite interesting to watch from their perspective. Because you kind of see their panic when they interact with the defenders, especially when they're right now. There's 2 now, or 3. There's 3 holding down B. It looks like they're gonna push it, and they're gonna all meet. I mean, it worked in the attackers' favor, since defenders are really weak right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Defenders with I believe it's Subhuman, yes, kind of on his last leg as well, trying to buy time at the B point, but the attackers delaying possibly a little bit too much here. Oh, interesting. And rotating back around, they're going to run into a defender right here. Yes, clean up that kill on Megan Fox, and now the defender's in a tough spot.
Oh, and they're coming up heaven with both of them there. And none of them are gonna check.
Yeah, defenders let them pass and try and get a pickoff kill, but Subhuman misses a couple shots there. leaving probably a win for the attackers here.
Down.
Oh, that was a good kill.
That was a good kill. At this point, you know, just any eco damage that Dave can pick up, if he can get another kill on the way out.
Oh,
Yeah.
he definitely needs a
Revealing area.
better gun. He could get a ghost from up on heaven.
No
Oh,
more.
All right,
But no, he
that's
just
I mean
put
that's what
someone
they
else
that's what they
inside.
wanted here though. I mean it's possible we could get a crazy clutch here, but that's yeah.
Yeah.
That's about as good as we could expect him to do in that situation. 2 kills, you know, keeps the attackers from getting too much profit out of
Yeah,
that.
Especially from a 1v4, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think only one is going to be holding down A.
Together.
Yeah, if
Only
even,
if
it looks like our
play.
defenders are... Okay, there we go. Struggling to make the call a little bit, but they do rotate 3 over now into the A area. And 4. So we see the defenders really, you know, yet again, trying to play to that information like we saw last map.
Oh, and there's one going on site, so if someone does push, they're going to be very quickly. Oh, yep,
Attackers pick up 2 really good kills on the way in there, though.
that's really good. I thought they would definitely die because one of them was camping on site, but they saw them very quickly.
One enemy remaining.
Wow, attackers looking very, very different this time around, which is interesting because so far it seems like we're seeing the kind of the opposite happen of what we would expect to happen on the maps. Last time was supposed to be an attacker map. Defenders carried it pretty hard, and now we're seeing what should be a defense-heavy map, and the attackers coming out 3-0.
Interested to see if defenders will be changing up their tactics. I think they are, since I can see
Never
that
lose sight.
Dave now is going to use his
Revealing area.
info dart. Sorry. Oh, and his ult.
Captain killed.
Oh. He definitely did some damage with that.
Still ends up just being a 1-for-1 trade, though. Now we see the defenders kind of going with the, you know, a similar strategy as they executed last map, trying to flank with 2 again while the others hold angles. But
They've
the
already rotated.
yeah, the attackers rotating out ahead of them and picking up another kill as well. This is where we
B is
see the
completely
information
clear.
lacking a little bit still, though, for the attackers. If they had more intel here, I think they would have rotated to B faster, and they'd be pressuring the defenders with an earlier spike.
Yeah, definitely.
Revealing area.
Attackers taking another pick off and healing thereafter. So a 4-2 and moving in on B point. This is going to be a tough one for Subhuman and Megan Fox to hold out here.
Nope, and Jet has to do, Subhuman has to do a quick rotate back to B.
Taking the scenic route, though.
And they're holding the corners pretty well. Attackers definitely know what side they're coming from. Oh, they're definitely not going to get this one.
Way too late. With Subhuman getting hurt so bad and having to run off there, they're just ecoing for this round.
Oh, and there
Oh,
goes
that's
Megan.
unfortunate for the defenders. Megan Fox. I didn't see if Megan had a gun or not, but
Oh, she had a, just a revolver.
Okay.
What's that gun called? Okay. Yeah. It looks like they're gonna try to take B again, which is good considering there's only one person on site and one on Haven, but the person on Haven seems to be more focused on mid. Oh. And they heard them.
Take flight.
All right, attackers breach a little bit, but still slow playing. This looks like possibly trying to fake out at B and quick rotate to A.
I think so too, which would work in their favor since the defenders do tend to rotate very fast. But they're going back to A. I think they know that it was a trick.
Gonna have a clash here in middle. Smoke coming into play pretty heavily for both teams, though. So defenders have now rotated back around pretty much to their starting positions. They lose one for it, though. And Subhuman running for B, which is probably a good call, but he's going to find himself out. God, if he's not careful.
Towards A.
30 seconds left.
And Dave is ready to take anyone out who leaves.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave's going to need some big kills here, though. He gets a good angle, but gives himself away. That was unfortunate.
Ooh, let's see if they can play time. They only have 10 seconds.
Possibly not enough time to plant.
They only need 5 seconds to
Oh!
plant. Damn. They almost had it, too.
Yeah.
They had to play time.
Yeah, at that point, I wonder if our defenders possibly just lost track of time there, really. When it was down to 1-1 with 5 seconds left like that, he could have dropped back into the hallways above A and probably just waited it out.
It looks like they're going to go A again. I think they realize that A tends to be their weak point, but now they have 3 stacked on A. So, oop, nope, Reyna's rotating back.
Revealing area.
You should run.
Quick kill. And kind of a retreat, though. We seem to see them... Or not a retreat, rather, but kind of a slow play after the kill.
Subhuman's caught in Killjoy's ult, which instantly kills him.
Attackers get some good trades there, and now they are left in the enviable position of defending against the defenders. Staying pretty grouped up, though. Not taking... Okay, there we go. I was going to say, not really taking a diverse array of angles. So attackers now set up pretty well. This is going to be a difficult breach for our defenders if they're going to go for it. Looks like they might just be trying to hold angles to get some eco damage.
I think so, too. Yep, definitely. They're saving. Oh.
Ooh, an early reload. That could have been very dangerous for Megan Fox there at the last moment.
Subhuman tends to hide in corners that I don't even think about like, you know, how big the bomb explodes. So that was a pretty good... I don't know what I'm saying. I'm so sorry. That was a pretty good, like, movement to the corner where he hid.
Smoke's down.
Oh, it looks like they're going mid. If Hypno were to use his ult at mid, it would really... I think it would just kill the entire team since they're so closely packed together.
Sorry, I was sneaking in some quick chat interaction there since we had kind of a slower start to the round, but
Spike planted.
like we end up in kind of an interesting spot. We have Megan Fox left again with, I don't know the name of this gun, but this this crazy squad suppression weapon, and actually picks up a few kills from it. We tend to see Megan playing a little bit more on the passive side, though, so this is kind of an awkward position for them, having to try and assault 1v2. Now, that being said, we do have We have Cool Kid splitting off to try and go for the flank. So if Megan were to pressure here, like I said, that hasn't really been Megan's style. So I think Megan loses the advantage that they had on timing.
Definitely. Yeah, there's no more time.
Yeah, a nice try, but just a really awkward. And that's, you know, no knock on Megan. We all have our play styles, and that was just not aces in places there.
Especially with her character Reina, which is a pretty like offense character to begin with. It's an interesting technique to hold back a bit.
Quick pick from our attackers there, and then we have Subhuman pushing up outside of B point there. He might get a pick as a result of it. Ooh, but gets beat to the punch by Cool Kid. Our defender's in a tough spot here. They know they need to rotate back to B, but it just seems like the attackers have their numbers right now.
One enemy remaining.
And possibly our first flawless round here. Nope. Dave manages to pick up a kill, though, denying them that that point of pride.
Revealing area.
But probably not going to be able to pick up anything else. As he's about to get pushed by 2 here. Yeah.
Yep. And with the classic, ouch.
Well, we said we were hoping this would go to 3 out of 3. Now, never say never. The defenders could have a significant burst here, but it's looking pretty rough for them.
Safety's off.
It seems like they really did learn from map 1, because what was really killing them was those rotations, which, as we talked about, was our defenders using their information to their advantage. But it seems like the anime girls have kind of played, you know, turned that around on them, and they're getting like a quick kill or so, and then kind of slow playing, and then trying to pick off the defenders when they're rotating.
Who trained you?
All right, we see a little bit better trades for the defenders that time, but the spike does still go down, and a further trade. So it's going to come down. If Subhuman, yes, can get that pickoff on Staples, that leaves the defenders positioned pretty well to take their first round here on this map.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh, Cool Kid with a fantastic headshot on the flying Megan Fox. Subhuman turns it around, though, and gets the first win here for the defenders. That's got to feel good. If we can see the defenders take another round or 2 here, that might be the moral energy, or morale energy rather, that they need to try and make a run at this still.
I think they still have a shot, considering the round hasn't switched. I mean, the game hasn't switched positions yet.
Sure.
So they hopefully will be able to win once they get over to defender side.
Yeah, if they can pick up like 2 more of the next 3 rounds before the switch, we could see, we could potentially see them go ham on attack. Defender's definitely struggling in the economy department, though, so that puts them in an awkward spot. If they can't get a clutch, or a hold rather, this round, it's not good for them. We said they needed to win at least 2 out of 3, but one of them needs to be this round. Human flying over the door and dashing back across, but into an ability.
Ouch.
Good pickup from Staples there for the attackers. Dave manages to clean it up, and then we have a further trade back. So 1 for 1 there.
It looks like attackers are rotating over to A.
Yeah, and defenders might get caught with their pants down here. We have 2 holding essentially the same angle on middle, and 1 in B.
I think they were hoping that they would go mid, since they usually tend to do that when rotating. But And they hit them with the ult.
So talk to us. What did that ult do for them?
That ult causes everybody who's on the enemy side, once in the barrier, they freeze. And it alerts Killjoy that they're within the barrier, so they can easily find them and kill them.
Seems like they may have used it a little bit early, though. They're not moving into the site off of that information. And potentially a pickoff coming for the attackers here.
Headshot.
But a good trade from Dewey. So the
Player
ooh.
standing.
Dewey's really hitting with those headshots. Oh, and so is Jonathan.
As we said, that's a really hard round for our defenders to lose here. They pretty much have to force buy at this point, but things are looking a little rough.
I'm interested to see if they're going to do a... Yeah, they're definitely going to do a save round.
So banking it all on the last round of the half, I guess.
Smoke's down.
Defenders moving, or attackers rather, moving quickly on A, but defenders picking up on it. So we have a 5-on-4 here. With the last defender rotating through mid, but not going for the flank. We've got a head-on 4 versus 5 defense. Fight going down. I don't think the defenders were expecting that. That puts them in an awkward spot. They have to breach now, but it is a 4-on-4 breach if they can take it before Cool Kid rotates in. A good pickup from Dewey as well.
Turret's destroyed. Get out of my way.
Jonathan doesn't get a kill, or sorry, not Jonathan, I forgot who it was, but that attacker didn't get a kill off of that, but did buy important time. So,
Oh, great tactic from
One
Cool Kid.
enemy remaining.
got it.
Buying time and killing both.
Well done. I was kind of wondering what his play was there, but that was fantastically executed.
It really was. I really like Brimstone's ult, since it's definitely the best way to do it, especially when you're 1v winning, or 1v how many are left on the team.
All right, so last round of the half here, we see everybody bringing out the big guns, literally and figuratively. We see 2 squad suppression weapons coming from the defenders. So it looks like possibly trying to hold up, take some angles, and make the attackers pay. But the attackers swap back to B, and if they take that quickly, they're going to get a spike down, before the end of the minute. Defenders getting some value out of those suppression weapons, though. We do still get a plant. But the defenders have the numbers here to try and take this. Jonathan gets a good pick on Subhuman. Two on two here for the half.
Standing.
And yeah, defenders have a good chance at it. Oh. I actually missed that last kill. So, all right. They bought themselves a chance. It's going to take a heck of a run here on the other half, but with a very high stakes pistol round coming here.
And let's see how they play this out. I think they're going to stack A, which is lucky on their part, since they are going A.
Looks like one possibly AFK or disconnected. Subhuman's still in spawn. There it goes. Okay. So yeah, full stack on A. This could be just a W key rush potentially. They may not stop here, which we really haven't seen any of the teams do much of. We've had a lot of even if they have an early clash, we've seen them back up a lot. So attackers moving in on A and clashing actually outside of A, but not getting the spike down yet. So not taking advantage of that. There we go.
And they're planting.
Out of charges.
Oh, nice try from Dave, but gets body shots there. So attackers still have a pretty good shot at holding this.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, but those exchanges do not go well for them.
Last player
A
standing.
good kill from Subhuman though, and we have the defusal going. I don't know if Subhuman heard it.
I don't think so either. I think he thought it was fake diffuse.
Oh, that's a critical round there, because now not only is the overall score bad, but bad for our attackers, but now they have to probably eco here into potentially the second to the last round of the map. So I'm curious if we're going to see, we're going to see some submachine guns from our defenders here to try and force that money advantage. And this is where kind of the like meta scale of the map comes in, because if they weren't so far ahead, I could potentially see our defenders not buying here. But oh, and the attackers decide to force buy, so they're all in on this.
And Dewey comes in with the stinger.
Defenders rotating fast though. Our attackers struggling to capitalize on that a little bit. All right, some good cleanup kills there by Subhuman.
One enemy remaining.
Dave grabs one. I suspect we see them rotate to B here really quickly. Yeah.
Which is a good tactic since the last one's at A. Oh. And they're planting.
Red planet.
Oh, nice kill from Dave.
A good kill from Staples, but that's where we're going to see the 3v1 numbers really come in, is even getting that kill, he gives away where he is. We got a submachine gun drop there for our attackers, trying to continue to leverage what little economy they have right now to get some momentum going here. And slow walking from our attackers.
I'm interested to see Megan play, because she seems to be very good with that Odin.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen her play with it, she gets at least 2 kills.
We have our first clashes and an even trade for it, but our attackers get caught for a second kill there by Jonathan. This is going to be a tough one for them to turn around now, and they're not even together. So potentially just trying to save his gun here? No, going for some kills potentially.
That's a good kill.
Placing sentry.
30 seconds left.
Ah, the reload with 62 rounds in the magazine. We've all done it. Don't judge.
Match point.
All right, so match point for map 2 here.
It looks like they're gonna try to full stack on A.
Deciding on what could be the final buys of the map here.
I'll find them. Revealing area.
Attackers rushed the point really well, but just struggled to
One
get the
enemy
kills they
remaining.
needed off of that. And that's going to be the map.
Die.
Defenders win.
All right, very interesting map there for almost a complete reversal as far as execution goes. We have Jonathan, match MVP in pretty much every measurable way. Most kills, fewest deaths, most assists, most first bloods, and a plant and a defuse each. So fantastic play there. What jumps out at you? What seemed to go wrong there for Steel Greg's Bagels? Because they had effectively the same agent draft. So why do you think they weren't able to execute that the same way?
I'm not quite sure. I feel like it was perhaps that they couldn't really commit to a site very well, and when they did, they either pushed too fast and didn't check all their corners, which I think played a huge role, especially in this map that has a lot of corners that they do need to check.
All right, so I guess now this puts things in kind of an interesting position, right? Because we have Anime Girls who gets to pick attack or defense for the next map. What do you think from what you saw from them yesterday? What do you think they're going to take?
I think they might take defenders, since this map tends to be defense heavy.
Okay, and what map are we doing third? I'm sorry, I forgot what you said.
Oh, we're doing Bind.
Okay. It's interesting also, just as, as a layman really here, we see both maps so far. We see Jet coming out on top, and in this case for both teams.
Yeah, Jet tends to be a favorite amongst everybody who plays Valorant, especially because she's very fast and it's easy to dodge bullets, and her smokes go up pretty quick too. She's pretty good on a lot of the sites, especially in sites like Ascent, and I would say Bind too. She can get up on a lot of places.
Yeah, and it seems like from what I'm seeing, a lot of an interesting combination of disruption and kind of paper survivability with all that movement. Zip around, throw down a smoke in a disruptive place, and then potentially like fly over a door or something like that to really throw the other team off as far as what angles they need to be taking.
To see what agents they're gonna pick for this site specifically, because it depends on what they really pick, especially for this one, because I really like Guy on this site. She has a lot of good blinds that work pretty well, especially when holding down B site, but I don't think any of them have used the agent Sky yet, so I'm interested to see if one of them is gonna actually do it.
And looking at my notes here, so Sky, it looks like, is a healer.
Yeah, it's their initiator, and they can heal, and they also have this hound which can search for an enemy for a given amount of time, and they also have blinds. It works pretty well. They're a pretty good player to have on your team. The one downside is they can't heal themselves when they're hurt pretty badly. And I like their ult. Their ult can seek out any enemies on the map. You just need, I think, 5 points to get it, which is pretty good compared to like Raze, who needs quite a few more.
So is this map that we're moving to Bind? Is this larger, smaller? Any particular defining features here in that regard?
It's smaller than Haven, and I think it only has 2 sites, so I guess it would be the same amount as Split. It is defense heavy though, which is why they chose defenders. They definitely have a bit more space and a few more open spots than Split had, which makes it perfect for like opping.
We really haven't seen a whole lot of that.
Yeah, we haven't. We've only seen it in the first match with Phoenix on the attacker side, who tried it with the Marshall, but it didn't work out very well. And I've never seen it afterwards. I think they learned their lesson that it wasn't going to work out pretty good on the map. Everybody was moving pretty quickly.
Turning to the draft here, we have another not quite as fast of a lock-in, but another pretty quick lock-in from Steel Greg's Bagels. And 2 quick locks from Anime Girls as well, but it looks like a few people shadowing a couple of different agents. In fact, Staples thinking about taking that Sky that you were talking about.
I really
Select
hope
your
they do.
agent.
Running out of time, though, and we have 2 people on the defenders who have not even shadowed anything. There we go.
We have not seen Raze and Sky and Viper. You know, I'm a Viper stan, and a lot of people tend to hate on Viper because they don't like her abilities. But you know, I think hate the player, don't hate the game. You know, it's a very fun agent to play, especially on bind. When you're holding down a site too as Viper and you use her ult, you're winning. Definitely gonna get a win.
So explain to us Valorant noobs here, what am I seeing in the very middle of the map? Is there some sort of a like teleport or pass through, or like what is that little symbol connecting by where number 1 I guess is right now?
Oh, it's a teleporter. It's a pretty efficient way to get in between the both
Sure.
sites, but it makes a lot of noise. So that's why a lot of people tend to avoid going through the teleporter, or if they do, they try to psych you out by throwing things into the teleporter that makes you think someone went through it.
Oh, interesting.
Which
Okay.
is a really good tactic. One of the funnest times I've seen someone psych someone out, and I do it myself too, is when you have 2 guns, and you'll just throw in your pistol through the teleporter and it sounds like someone went through, and then they'll rotate, and then you plant. Really fun to mess with the teleporter.
So this map actually structurally looking kind of similar to the last one to me, but maybe a bit bigger. We see the attackers who are trying to take advantage of that with a slow walk back around to A, but I feel like they're going so slowly here that it might end up blowing up in their faces.
30 seconds left.
If they'd hit A about 15 seconds ago, it would have been 4-on-1 or 3-on-1, and it still is. But now the defender's a little bit more ready to rotate.
Oh, and they're planting right out in the open.
Yeah.
Spike planted.
Yeah, a risky plant from Subhuman there, but it's going to pay off for him since they got it deployed. It's going to be difficult for the defenders. Well, I say that as they get another kill. Now they have a 4-2 advantage, so...
Oh. The Anime Girls took the win.
Yeah, a very well executed first round there from Anime Girls.
Out.
Safety's off.
Man, my color overlay is not matching up. It's driving me crazy. I thought Cool Kid was about to get blasted in the side of the head there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's happening. I'm trying to see if maybe it's like the enemy highlight color, but I don't think it is.
No,
It's just
I
the
fiddled
glitch in
around
the
with some
game
of that stuff
itself.
just to see. Like, I tried toggling them on and off, you know, just to see if that would, like, reset anything.
Damn.
I believe that's the first shotgun kill we've seen here in the finals.
I think so too. I personally really hate shotguns because it's a hit or miss. I remember I shot someone in the head with a shotgun, did not work. It was a very interesting day.
Cage triggered. Cage triggered.
So we see the attackers here trying to split angles on the A point, but Dewey gets punished for it.
Spike planted.
And yeah, now the
One
attackers
enemy
got the
remaining.
spike down, but really got punished for it. I don't think there's any way we see this held. Yeah, as Dave goes down as well.
Flawless.
So far, what's your favorite agent that you've seen?
Well, you know, I think we've had, of the 30 picks that we've had, I think we've had like 6 different agents. So I
True.
don't have a ton of exposure there, but I'm definitely interested in Jet. She seems like the kind of character that I tend to play. I tend to be very disruptive, high mobility. I play a lot of Dota and that type of game. So I like heroes, or, well, you know, heroes and Dota agents here who can get around, who can flank, who can come from that unexpected angle, and kind of punish in that way.
Yeah, definitely a Jet main would suit you.
Which makes me sad because it sounds like that's a little cliche from what I'm hearing.
I mean, it's a good tactic, you know. They tend to be infamous for their shotguns and ops because it's so easy to move around when you're Jet. So a shotgun kill is like quick, easy. You can go in, get out fast, and you'll survive it. They used to be really good with the op too, but recently they've nerfed it. So I don't think people tend to use the ops as much.
30
Well, when
seconds
I've
left.
played comp, they don't play as much.
Last player standing.
And Cool Kid takes 2 kills. And he's holding Spike.
That round also showing the latest first blood that we've had.
Yeah, that was a pretty slow push.
10 seconds left.
I think Dave is going to save. Yep, definitely saving.
So far from over, but we see anime girls who got to choose the side on the map here. So far, really capitalizing on their position as defenders. What changes do you think we need to see from the attackers here?
I think they have to push the site a lot faster than anticipated for bind, since the rotation it's been decent, but they need to like step it up because defenders
them.
haven't been rotating as fast as they can. I'm sorry, my brain is like processing at the speed of a Dell laptop from like 2007. So I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. It seems like we see the attackers here sending 1 to distract at A, which could really pay off for them since the defenders have 3 there. But the defenders may be picking up on it, looking at pushing.
Revealing area.
The attackers had a good game plan here, but they need to move on it. Yep, and they lose their distraction, so they need to capitalize on that at B now. Ooh, and a good kill from Crash inside the smoke there leaves the attackers in a tough spot.
Last player standing.
Never mind. I had a thought, but it changed in a half a second with some good headshots there from the defenders. So we see the attackers this time setting up for what appears to be a 3-2 rush on A.
Oh. One kill
defenders trying to punish here, but they still have 2 over in B site. So attackers get another kill off of that. They should be able to get a spike down here in a moment. They're gonna get caught. They're gonna get caught here in a moment, though, as the other defenders from B move around. And now we have a 3v3. The spike is going down, but yeah, I think a little bit too slowly. So talk to me a little bit. Am I misreading this? It seems to me like the attacker's pacing is kind of the problem right now.
I think so too. They keep like going.
That goes there. Yes.
It's weird. They keep going slow and fast, and when they do try to push fast, they tend to separate a bit more instead of going together. I'm curious as to how they're going to do this, because last time they played,
This is a nice spot.
I saw where they would push A, but they would go through the teleporter. So people from B site would have already rotated to A by the time like they rotated back to B.
Prepare for hell.
We also, I don't know the ability name, but we see a couple of ultimates come out early from the attackers here.
Definitely, that was a Brim Hellfire.
Well, also the
ultimate.
arrows that shoot through the walls went off as well. I'm sorry, I don't know whose that is.
Oh yeah, that's Sova. I think we're gonna see another ult from Brim coming up soon.
Open up the sky. Deep fry.
2 kills.
Yeah, one from the ult, one from the good old gun.
Oh,
One
and
enemy
Dave takes him
remaining.
down.
Yeah, this is still going to be a pretty significant clutch here for the attackers, though. Yeah, in order to win. So we see attackers in a really tough position here. Not only are they obviously down 0-6, but economically they... I think we see at most a partial buy here. By partial buy, I mean pistol upgrades or possibly submachine guns.
Yeah, definitely.
No, we see a force.
Oh.
A full force buy. I understand. Yeah, that's a tough position to be in, right? Because there's still a bunch of rounds left, but you do kind of have to get a win under your belt. So it puts you. This is a do or die round for him, though. Attackers get a good early kill there on Diz. Subhuman, it looks like, fumbles a little bit with his ability there, though. Awkward spot for Dewey, but he gets the kill on Crash anyway. So can we get the spike down? The defenders are not in a great spot. Both of them in the same hallway. And the attackers 4-2. It's yet again, though, pacing. It takes the attackers a long time to get that spike down, and now they're defending 2v2. With actually pretty much complete mirror, the same 2 agents and about the same amount of health on the same 2 agents as well.
One enemy remaining.
Hypno snags a kill on it, though. And in this case, it's all about the numbers. It doesn't really matter that his allies got 25% hit points. They can try and hold this 2v1.
Why destroyed?
Nice pickup from the attackers. So, like I said, that was a do or die round for them. That is absolutely huge. Not only do they obviously break the losing streak, but now several of them have guns. They did pay for it with some deaths for sure, but several of them still have guns, and they get some much needed money out of it. Early kill from the defenders there on Dewey. We see that stymie the attackers a little bit, but if they can move They've still got a 4-3 advantage in sight. So they get trades in the site, but can they capitalize on it? No, they can't. So attackers rotating back to that that 4-1 distract strategy. They get an early pick. Ooh.
Revealing area.
So yeah, almost the exact same thing happens as the last time they tried this, which I think was 3 rounds ago. Is their distractor got killed early, and now they're not pressuring B point very quickly. So we see them hit a teleporter and rotate over to A. They and I was gonna say they abandoned Dave over there, but actually Dave picks up another kill off of it. So we see a heavy rotation from the attackers here into A, into an Opper as well, who's struggling to hit shots, and an earlier spike plant. This is much better pacing than we've been seeing from the attackers so far on this map. A tough death for Megan Fox, but the attackers still have a good chance at holding this. Say that as another one goes down. So we see Brim is gonna have to push this. Yeah, he had to, but he gets picked off by the Opper there. That was tough. I feel like their execution overall of the strategy was better, but they just lost the gunfights. We're starting to get into that territory again where there could potentially not be a whole lot of rounds left. We see the attackers try essentially to flip their strategy and go 4-1 on the opposite fight, but Diz really cleans up with that squad suppression weapon. Megan turns one around, and we've seen Megan do really well with that weapon before. I'm afraid I don't remember the name of it. So yeah, if the attackers are able to group up here, the attackers are very separated. And we see Subhuman possibly overplaying his hand a little bit here at B. If he gets picked off, this is probably a round for the defenders. Subhuman gets a kill on Jonathan, though.
Stealing sight.
Ooh. Megan Fox gets gifted with a miss from the defending Opper there and gets the spike down as a result, but we of course have an ult coming in.
One enemy remaining.
Now we have Dewey stuck in that awkward position again. The Opper watching that same hallway.
Deleted.
He gets a pick, but now he has to long range challenge the Opper. He just needs to buy some time though. Dang. Nice try from Dewey there. If they'd been able to get that spike down by Megan Fox, that would have been a win.
Bad timing for the ult coming in and killing her.
Mm-hmm. We see the attackers fully buying out here, so this is kind of their make or break round. If they lose this round, they're down 10-1 and very poor. And they're playing like they know it too. The attacker's really slow moving in here. We can see the 4-1. Dewey pushing 1v3 on a B site while his allies still kind of missing the pacing at A.
Cage triggered. Enemy down.
Dewey does manage to take a kill out of it though, and it looks like we have the other attackers rotating over. Or sorry, two of the other attackers rotating over.
And they're going back to A.
Yep, Hypno gets picked off, and then the attackers rotate back to A. In general, I would criticize this, but actually I think this is a good rotation here if they do it quickly. They can't let that offer up above. Yeah, perfect smoke there. Get the spike down quickly. That's exactly what they needed, so now we just need kills for the attackers. Defenders breaching the site, and the attackers really get punished, at least as far as hit points go. They can't play scared here, though. This is a really tough spot for them. Subhuman trades, and the remaining attackers have a combined 14 hit points. We have a fake defuse, and Crash takes a kill on Dewey off of it.
Last player standing.
Dave saves it, though.
Clutch.
That's a good play on Dave.
Yeah.
Damn.
Last round before the switch.
I don't know how he lined it up so perfectly for his, I forgot what they're called. His shock darts. That's a very good lineup.
So even though they all died in that last round, the attackers, getting the spike detonation, get enough money to buy out here for the final round of the half. They are slow playing it again, which I think they've actually done that. Both of the rounds that they've won and one or two of the close rounds that we've had came from these slower plays. Seems to be fitting them a little bit better on this map because for some reason their fast plays just haven't been quite fast enough. See picks in both directions. Curious what's going to give here first. I feel like we're going to see... Ooh, that changes things dramatically. I was going to say, I feel like we're going to see the two on A try and push in while B kind of holds. Subhuman gets an important kill there, though. So 3-3, and we might see a rotation out of the attackers here.
Definitely. With the up or down, it makes taking A site a lot easier.
30 seconds left.
All right, we see the teleporter from Hypno. Ooh, and he gets punished for it almost
One
immediately by
enemy
Cool Kid.
Ten seconds left.
Do we see a cheeky last-minute spike here? Yeah, it looks like he's going for it. I think he thinks the site's empty, though. He's about to get caught. Yeah, tough. Or she, sorry. I forgot who we were watching.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Switching sides.
Hopefully they're able to win back a few of these games.
Yeah, I'd like to see. We made it to game 3. I'd like to see game 3 be a little bit more even. So far, both of the maps, well, kind of all 3 of the maps have been stomps in one way or the other. So we see the attackers take some really conservative angles at the beginning here outside of B, and then start moving in as much more of a group.
That was a really good setup for Dewey.
Have this back.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dewey almost gets Diz and then does finish it off after the reload. Jonathan picks up Hypno, but the defender's in a pretty good position here, especially with the flank coming in on potentially coming behind Cool Kid here. He seems aware of it, though. The defenders have to be careful not to overplay their hand here. They're in a good position, but they could give it up.
Enemy remaining.
Okay, a good kill from Dewey. They know where the last attacker is now. They need to stay together. Yep, they find him with the arrow.
They're gonna rush it.
30 seconds left.
Looks like they thought about it, but thought better of it at the last moment there. Ooh. It looks like maybe a miscommunication there. But a good pickup from Subhuman. Overall, well executed from the defenders there. The attackers didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but Dewey picking up those 2 pistol kills early on in the clash was pretty key.
This goes here. That goes there. Yes, this is a nice spot.
All right, we see Dewey setting up some of the vision, and it looks like the defenders are going to leave Dewey at B alone, which ends up being a good call because the attackers are pushing A. Defenders not getting any kills yet, but hurting several. Yeah, defenders doing a good job of punishing the attackers there. The spike is down, but there's plenty of time left on that. Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't a fake defuse. Crash plays that very well, but they're just too outnumbered. So we see things even out a little bit. I think Dewey's setup on the defense there at solo B was really helped lead to what happened there. We see the defenders setting up for on kind of a dumb luck guess, I think, but setting up pretty well with 3 and B, and it looks like that's where the attackers are going to try and hit.
Subhuman's trying to flank, which I think is going to be very good for him.
Going to depend a lot on timing. If he goes in too early, he's going to be 1v4. It looks like he's moving slowly. Wait for that clash. There's no need to rush this, and this is where I often misplay when I'm in these positions, is I push a little bit too fast. I think he should be moving now, though. Yeah, we hear a lot more gunfire coming. Dewey gets 2 kills, and Subhuman with the flank. Very well done.
It looks like they're really turning it around at this half.
Yeah, a significant, I think a significant strategic change with how they've been having Dewey specifically play B and what that's been freeing them up to do as far as where they're placing and rotating the rest of their people. And also the attackers we see maybe a little bit predictably kind of swinging back and forth here, going back to A point again, and the defenders seem to be ready for that.
Blocking sight.
Fantastic pickups from Dave. He gets maybe a little aggressive there on the last one, but 2 for 1. It's still obviously really good for them. Subtrade's 1 for 1, which could have gone a little better, but he was essentially 1v3 there. They were all grouped up pretty heavily. But we do still see defenders hold off the initial rush. Dewey still holding down B point pretty happily by himself, and that leaves a 2v2 at A. So I think we are going to see the attackers make their way over to B, but I might be misreading that. They might wait it out and go back in on A. Interesting.
Coming up from flank. Oh, nope. He's going back.
So we see the defenders here coming in with 2 on top and 1 on bottom. It was actually looking there momentarily like they were going to go full on, try and come from all 3 directions. But they consolidate 2 up above. Some really aggressive angles here from Dewey, but it paid off for him. And yeah, I was going to say, we're going to have the ultimate drop here, I think, on the point. That's been Cool Kid for Life's play for a while. Megan Fox cleans them up, though, and we do still get a win for the defenders.
Spike defused.
Yeah, this is what's really fun about doing multi-round matches, is we see some of the tricks that each team pulled out in the earlier rounds, you know, identified by the opponents and played against. Obviously, the ultimate there still dealing some damage for the attackers, but not enough to defend the spike. The defenders seemed ready to run from that one. Which, to be fair to Cool for Kid, it worked well for him like 3 times in a row, so you can't blame him for trying, but... We also, I'm assuming that the gold in the overlay is people who have ultimates ready, is that correct?
Yes.
So we see a lot of ultimates ready for the defenders here. So we also see the attackers really, I mean, practically spawn camping here. It's going to be interesting to see what the defenders do here. The attackers really haven't played one quite like this yet. So we might see an overly aggressive rotation here from Subhuman. Yeah, he needs to get out of there. But they correctly identify what's going on and immediately rotate the rest of the defenders over to A. So it's just going to come down to the gunplay here. Subhuman gets a kill. We see an ult from the defenders with Hypno, cleaning up Cool Kid for Life, and 2 kills for Sub. Well defended. Jonathan, though, getting some good kills, but it looks like he's, yeah, going to get picked up by Dave at the end. That was a fun round to watch. And again, and this is certainly not the first and won't be the last time humanity sees this happen, but we do see the attackers still, I think, flailing a little bit on target acquisition as far as points go, just continuing to pendulum back and forth from A to B every other round. And we see Subhuman flanking again here, hoping to pick up like they did in round, I believe that was 14. But the attackers are in different spots. Subhuman gets one, but does pay for it. Yeah. No, he actually had almost nothing. Got what I'm casting with. Ooh, Dewey gets caught in the smoke there. That's a tough loss for the defenders as the spike goes down as well. This is probably going to be an attacker win.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, good pickups from Diz. And Dave, it looks like, is going to try and challenge this.
Good headshot.
Yeah, nice try.
It looks like they might actually match up to overtime.
Yeah, it certainly could be. Which That's really what more could you ask for in a best of 3 is to make it not only to game 3, but potentially overtime in game 3. I'd love to see it. Ult's pretty much even from both teams. We finally do see a different strategy here being deployed by the attackers. They're still playing slowly, but they're a little bit more spread out than they were before. Subhuman trying to flank from A again, but I feel like the attackers are kind of onto that at this point. I think if Subhuman goes through attacker spawn, which he's going to, he avoids the trap there potentially.
Smoke's down.
Hypno gets a good pickup on Diz. Diz kind of strangely rotated over to A and then took the teleporter back to B, kind of giving away their position.
Enemy remaining.
Defenders clean up really well at B there. That was a really interesting decision there to... I don't know why going through the teleporter. That one in particular, that teleporter seems like it only saves you a couple seconds.
It really does. I think it's just to... Sometimes you can use it as a distraction method. Because I've seen people who will teleport and then hide within the teleport to like the corner where they can't get shot at, and the team that's in the window will be focused on the teleporter more than people outside on the site.
Gotcha. So perhaps botched timing then, because it seemed like pretty much he just died, and then the fight happened at B, 10 seconds later.
That goes there.
All right, so we see the defenders go back to what was working well for them, here in round 12 or so, of putting Dewey solo at B. We have Megan. Ooh, that's the first time really that we've seen Megan fail to get a kill with that gun. That gun has been good for her so far.
Oh, and they're quick to plant too.
Yeah.
You should run.
Silence.
Still salvageable for the defenders, possibly, but the attackers are pretty well set up. This is going to be interesting to see how this one comes out. This is a very important round. Defenders do still have 2 ultimates,
Last player standing.
but not really going to be able to find a way to deploy those meaningfully for the defense here.
I'll remove.
Dewey gets the kill, but gets caught in the molly for it. Is he going to go for this? Yeah, tough spot to be in.
Match point.
All right, first match point here for Anime Girls. We see we see a complete force buy from the defenders, which of course not too surprising given that it's match point. And defenders do have 4 ultimates, although it looks like missing Hypnos, which has been probably one of the more impactful ults for them. Defenders going about this a little differently. Having 2 over on B here instead of leaving Dewey alone. We'll see if the attackers are able to punish them for that. Okay, we have a teleport almost immediately from Hypno, though. And Megan Fox, with her signature weapon, again, picks up a kill on Cool Kid for Life. And I missed it, but we had an ultimate from Dave as well. And actually, Megan now gets her ult, so we could theoretically see 5 ults from the defenders this round. Obviously, they hope not to need that many to win, but...
Another teleport.
Yeah, lots of rotation here. If the attackers... No. Defenders rotate over in a pretty timely fashion. What we've got to watch out for the defenders is Dave could teleport and get caught. But it took me too long to look up his name, and by the time I did, the attackers had rotated. So Dave safely gets the teleport off, and defenders have a very well set up 5v2 here.
Last player standing.
Some
30 seconds left.
bobbled shooting there from Jonathan in that exchange, and then Subhuman storms in and takes Staples out. So big hold there for the defenders. It did end up costing them 4 ultimates, but match point, so We have one late to leave attack spawn here. Staples appears to be immobile at the moment. There he goes. Okay. I was going to say, I'd hate to see a disconnect or something at this point. That would be very unfortunate. Early pickup from Subhuman. He's got to run, though, but thankfully he is Jet, so that's a thing he can do. He almost gets punished while jumping up onto that box, though. That was...
Someone moved into U-Haul, which could potentially kill him.
We see several teleports from the attackers to try and rotate over on B point, but there is one defender and about to be two. So yeah, I was going to say they're going to go for a very quick spike here. The defenders have picked up on it, but the remaining two attackers by A are close to the teleporter, so... Good pickups from Hypno and Dewey. And we actually don't see the attackers use the teleport. That's kind of interesting. I feel like they missed an opportunity to move kind of as a unit there and coordinate.
One enemy remaining.
We see Megan a little bit slow to get the weapon deployed, but still does buy enough time to get the fusel off.
Megan is deadly with that. That's such a good weapon for her to use, especially with her agent.
Yeah, I think literally we've only seen her fail to get a kill with it once. And a lot of times she gets two, or I think even a couple threes.
Yeah, definitely. With Arena's ability to heal, I feel like it's the perfect weapon. Especially that gun or the Phantom. Or Vandal. Depending on the range.
Deep breath.
Defenders continuing to get good reads on where the attackers are going to go. We have a 3-on-4 here at A point.
Revealing area.
Both squads kind of feeling each other out right now. Oh, Dave does not get that kill on Diz, but Megan cleans it up. Megan with a very early reload there, but it looks like the attackers are not pressuring the point, so it works out.
Prepare for hellfire.
Get out of my way!
Cool Kids picks up an ult kill on Hypno, and Crash picks up Megan there. This is going to be a tough hold for the match point. With the spike going down, we have Dewey and Subhuman moving in. Sub picks up 2 kills, though, before Dewey even gets there. It's 2-on-2. Dewey, not the best shooting we've seen from him there. That was unfortunate. I think the defenders actually played that really well. Just didn't get the cursor on the head. It was very close. That ended up being a really fun third map to watch. The start was a little rough, but that was pretty sweet. 13-10. Ended up pretty even.
Second half was a lot better for both teams.
Yeah. So, Cool Kid, MVP there with most kills. Everybody had a lot of deaths that time, though, which was really interesting, because the previous rounds we've had a few people that have been kind of acing people out. Everybody, a lot of deaths on that map. Kind of a bloodbath. And most assists, though, tied for most first bloods. Let's see, on the other team we had most plants to Subhuman at 3. Crash had 6. Wow. So, yeah, well played. That was a lot of fun. So, tell me, where are we from here? Do we have an interview with the winners, or?
Well, let me just talk to them really quickly to make sure that they're up for it. Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. In the meantime, a little bit of an ad from us. Again, this is Here There Be Monsters. I am Mercy. My wife Pixie and I share this channel and a YouTube channel called Here There Be Monsters. We are variety streamers. We actually don't stream Valorant normally, but we are pretty closely connected with the community that is running this tournament, and everything fell together. I had a ton of fun tonight. So we are going to be doing more of this kind of thing in the future, shoutcasting these tournaments, potentially more games than just the finals in the future as well. It's just a matter of scheduling. It looks like Our winners are ready for their interviews. We get both teams, so that'll be a whole lot of fun. I'm really excited to hear from them and kind of see, what their thoughts on it were. I thought that was a lot of fun to watch. We had one team pretty decisively took map 1. The other team pretty decisively took map 2. And it looked like we were going to have a runaway again in map 3, but we end up almost going into overtime. So big accolades to both teams. I thought they played really well. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I'm excited to hear from them. So I'm going to pop into a different Discord channel now. Good evening, everybody.
Hey,
Hello,
Patrick.
hello.
And good game. That was a lot of fun, you guys.
Yeah, big thanks to HereThereBeMonsters, Mercy, Patrick for shoutcasting this. It looked like there was 30 to 50 or so watching at any given time.
Yeah, it was bouncing around, but it looked like a lot of people had fun. Eden and I had a lot of fun casting it, and you guys really delivered on, map 1, obviously. Kind of a crush there from the Bagel squad, and then map 2. I gotta say, I was really impressed with the way that Anime Girls turned that around. Map 3, we were kind of sitting there like, oh man, that's we made it to 3 out of best of 3. Like, that's kind of exciting, but started out rough for stealing Greg's Bagels, but you guys really turned that around in the second half. So talk to me about that, and then we'll go to our winners here. Greg's Bagels, talk to me about how you guys turned that around in the second half of map 3.
Well, I will say the one thing that was great about our team was that they honestly, like, everybody kept their head up. I mean, we got crushed for like 30 rounds straight, I feel like, between the two maps. And so every time we got a win, everybody got on it and tried to keep the momentum. And on that last map, I mean, we definitely picked up momentum and nobody thought we were going to lose. So I think that kept us in it, honestly.
It was really interesting to see because, of course, we get to cheat. We get to see the whole map. When Greg's Bagels were defending, you guys really had the attackers' number as far as where they were going to be. Every single round, you guys set up, with the majority defenders in the proper site. There was not a single time you guys got caught with your pants down.
Yeah, we were managing the flow back and forth with utility usage, stacking different sites. Got a little lucky, too.
Sure. So our winners here, Anime Girls, talk to me about how map 2 happened, because map 1, I have to imagine the locker room talk, if you will, after that one, must have been a little rough.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
The entire time we were
I
at
wasn't
map 2,
exactly
we
good
were
with
just
Sage.
screaming our heads off, talking about how we got rolled last game.
Yeah, it was nothing but like disappointment in the first game. Constantly just rolled.
Nothing but just sadness.
I have to say, I noticed that one thing that really helped turn things around and keep momentum going in your favor in map 2 when it was Hypno had a couple of major ults to defend plants that you guys had that really clutched some important rounds and kept that momentum going.
Honestly, yeah, it truly did. Our ults really saved us on map 2.
Yeah.
Really did. Defense heavy for the Killjoy was awesome, and then for attacking the fuse cover from Brimstone was awesome. Worked out pretty well for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd imagine, sweeping map 2 and then going into map 3, first half there, you must have been riding pretty high. How did you keep from, letting that momentum shift in the second half of map 3 from, kind of uprooting you?
We really just kept telling us we can't lose.
Yeah,
we we can't lose.
I imagine the enemy team has like strategy and like ideas that they're coming up with left and right. We're just here, we're shooting, we're gunning. That's all we're doing at the end of the day.
And something else that people were doing was Crash. You had 6 plants in map 3 there. That was a huge part of you guys being able to apply pressure in some of those rounds. Where it might have been, 3-on-3 or even 2-on-3, but getting that spike down a little bit earlier, leads to the defenders having to attack.
Yeah, listen. Yesterday I was doing pretty well, but today I wasn't on my A game, so I had to rely mainly on my plants and my utility, which sucked, but we won.
Yeah, you got there.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. And
Well,
today, those $10. That's what I'm after.
there you go.
10 easy dollars.
So, yeah, any final thoughts from anybody else that's here? Anything that you want to share with the world or say to your opponents?
Other than great matches and great tournaments, all around just awesome. Great experience.
Yeah, big thank you to the host though for
Yeah.
hosting this tournament.
Eden did
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, he did a
G
great job.
Wolf, Jared, and Hisham all pitched in. So wonderful job.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, although this is my first time casting, I've consumed a lot of esports content, and I've seen much larger organizations with much more experience not pull off something as smooth as this was. So definite shout out to the organizers, because I think you guys did a great job, especially for your first go at this.
Eden, take a bow. I think this is going to be first of many tournaments. I think it ran pretty smoothly, and I think first moments of notice, I think we'll do tournament each season. So expect maybe one winter, summer, autumn, and spring tournament going forward.
And can I just close out? I gotta say, you guys, after that first map, we were like, we've got this in the bag, and you guys were a completely different team. Definitely, the winners need to take a bow. I played in a lot of competition in CS and other games, and that was impressive.
Yeah.
To get that momentum.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night. Congratulations to both teams, and obviously, especially our winners. Enjoy your booty. All right, that was an absolute blast. I know the shoutcasting, so I guess a little quick feedback for myself. I was watching the map a little bit more than I was watching where Eden was cameraed, so although I felt like we kept information flowing pretty well, some of it probably felt a little bit disjointed as viewers. So that's something that I'll work on as we do more of these tournaments. But hopefully it was still a lot of fun to hang out and watch anyway, regardless of the exact execution. I'm pretty proud of my part in that, and working with Eden. That was our first time doing anything together. We had one really quick dry run last week to just kind of test out the camera system and whatnot. But I thought Eden did a fantastic job of providing commentary and filling in there, where I didn't necessarily know what was going on, and running the camera. So big shout out to her for that. And then obviously also just for organizing this whole thing. She brought 20 people plus some observers together, and then of course coordinated with me and whatnot as well. She was involved with like probably 30 people all told to plan this event. So huge shout out to her for that. I think that's about all I have to say there. So enjoy. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you for all the new follows, everybody else who came by. I hope you had a great time. Have a good start to your week this upcoming week. Merry Christmas to everybody. Stay safe out there. Give gifts, give loves to those that are important in your life, and we'll see you for the next one. All right, take care, everybody. Be excellent to each other.